Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for episode 36 of our weekly podcast series here on YouTube and Spotify if you're listening on there. I'm Jack as always, joined by Lewis as always, here for a debate about a lot of stuff, talk Rangers, incidents and whatever else has happened this week. Also preview towards the Hibs game at the end of the week. So if you do like the podcast, like the video, subscribe on YouTube, follow the socials will be on the screen. That's at Twitter at the Every Other Sat 21 and Instagram's at Every Other Sat Pod if you listen here on Spotify. So first things first, we need to get into the episode was planned out as we were just talking about a few minutes ago. We're ready to go, and then two big things came out. I'll talk about the first one being Andre Kudela, the whole incident that's been going on for the past month about the racist attack towards Glenn Kamara. UEFA finally spoke out about that, and they've banned Kudela for one game in the Europa League, but that was before I'd heard that he wasn't going to be travelling anyway due to the incident in the Wales game with Gareth Bale. So that's at least something. It's not personally the right thing that should be happening, but it's took them that long to be able to come up with a reason, and they've banned them anyway, so they're looking into it. And then I've seen if Kudela is found guilty, he'll face a 10-game ban after that. And the bit that annoys me is the man right there, Glenn Kamara. If he's found guilty of apparently beating up Kudela in the tunnel, he'll face a 5-game ban. Just absolutely ludicrous. It just makes you wonder what even is a punishment anymore. That's nothing. That is absolutely nothing. I mean, Glenn Kamara's getting 5 games, possibly banned if he's found guilty for doing something which we all would have done if we were in that position he was in, whereas Kudela's getting away with a 10-game ban, and if he's guilty, like, it's just, we all know he's guilty. Like, if he's not travelling on a plane to go to Arsenal when he was going to be questioned, we know he's guilty. And the way UEFA have handled it, they've took this long to come out with this amount of shite, for me is just not on. What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, 100% spot on, mate. You can tell, for me, you can tell his actions, the way he's cowardly to come to the UK at all. Do you know what I mean? You can tell that he's 100% guilty. Do you know what I mean? With his actions in terms of he's not wanting to come to this country entirely because he knows what he's done. The fact that Glenn Kamara is even getting a ban, as you say, for something that we would all do. Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. But a 1-game ban and a 10-game ban, as you say, is not enough. For me, he should be kicked out of the tournament. I did say obviously Slavia should be, but if they're not going to kick them out, he shouldn't be allowed to play in the tournament. Shouldn't be allowed to probably play the rest of the season with his team. For me, that's a punishment. I think I don't know, mate.
I seen something being let right.
For me,
sorry, what were you saying there?
No, I'm just saying. I think he should be. Do you know what I mean? He shouldn't be allowed to play football for the remainder of the season. Probably should educate himself up, man. It's just disgusting. As I say, Kemar and Glenn keep getting abuse on Instagram. Like, when are they going to get themselves involved and stop this? Because it's getting beyond a joke. Do you know what I mean? Our players constantly getting abused.
Aye, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I feel that the only time you're going to see any sort of stand on this is if UEFA file harder punishments. Like, Kudela should be banned for at least a year if this is found to be guilty, not just 10 games. That's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Slavia Prague is a club as well. They've got history with us, as we've talked about, and we've seen with Romelu Lukaku and stuff in the past at Barcelona as well. It's not just, again, this one player, it's the full club that I feel have this problem. And the only way to sort of solve this going forward is to really take a standpoint on the club and say, well, I don't want you playing in my competition if this is the sort of fan base and club you are. But we're only here to give our opinions on it. I can't, unfortunately, do it, and neither can Lewis, but I hope something is done harsher than just a 10-game ban, because I mean, the evidence is there. He's not travelling to the UK. He says he's injured. We all knew he was going to try and be injured coming into this. So for me, absolutely stupid. UEFA's part for it is stupid as well. If they really want to brand their tournaments on no to racism and have this big sort of discussion and say that it's wrong to do this, they need to file harder punishments for me.
No, 100%, mate. I just, as I said to you at the time, I just couldn't believe it's taking so long for this. Like it's there in clear video evidence. Do you know what I mean? As you say, the guy, he's scared, mate, to come to the country. So that tells you that. Do you know what I mean? That tells you everything you need to know. Pity Gareth Bale didn't hit him a bit harder. I'll be honest. He connected, but he didn't connect. You know what I mean? As sharp as you would have liked, but. No, man, I can't believe it yet again. UEFA they're not bothered at all. It seems like, do you know what I mean? It's all about the Benjamins, Jack. I tell you this all the time in these tournaments. It's all about the Benjamins, mate.
Aye.
That's all it's about.
I can agree with you. It seems like they've took as long to come out with this sort of garbage, and that's what we get. But as long as it's dealt with in Kudela as sort of punished for this, I'll be happy, but I'm not happy with the punishment that I've seen online that he could be given. I hope it's harsher, but it is what it is. And there was also an incident at the Valencia game as well at the weekend where the Valencia players stormed off the pitch due to a racist incident, which is, again, absolutely shocking that that's happened in Spanish football and any sort of stretchy the world. Like, why does this happen? It just needs absolutely completely removed if you have anything to do with football. And the quicker these punishments, as I say, are harsher, I feel it will get more better with it. But that was it. I mean,
it's not just like the punishments as well. It's the fact that there needs to be education there as well. Like people need to be educated. You know what I mean? Because I don't know, man. It's frustrating, man. I can't stand talking about it, man. Because we shouldn't really be talking about it. You know
exactly.
What I mean? Like, it's just annoying.
You can't sort of sometimes put it into words how annoying it is, but I felt we had to get that out of the way talking about that in the episode, although it is really hard to talk about it. We had to start off the episode with that because obviously we still stand firmly behind Glenn Kamara, Kemar Roof and everybody else that's been affected with these incidents, and hopefully we get an actual bit of justice through it. So that was the first point. The next point for the day that came out, James Tavernier is sided with the club again for another 2 years, extending his contract to 2024, which at the end of that contract I found remarkable. He'll be there for 9 years. So hopefully he gets another extension onto that, and then he's been at the club for 10 years. I mean, that's crazy to see what Tavernier's went through he joined the club. Although he had good moments under Mark Warburton, was still a standout. I mean, he was playing with a team, absolute shite. To come through all that, to become captain, Steven Gerrard's your manager, and obviously rounding it off with the title this year. It's obviously just great to see your captain signed up for another few years, because he could have just said, right, I've done all I can do here at Rangers. I want to move on for one last move to the English Premier League and then try and get into the England squad or something like that. But he's committed his future to Rangers, and it looks like he'll be here for the rest of his career, I hope.
Hopefully, mate. It's that for me, it was never in doubt with Tav. I know people will maybe saying he could potentially go down to the Premiership, but I never seen it. I feel like ever since he's put that captain's armband on, he's just fully committed to the club. As you say, he's not had an easy ride. You know what I mean? We've been critical and we've said that he wasn't a captain, and we've said obviously when he's not turned up performance wise. But for me, man, he's been sensational. Obviously this season, and he just in general. Do you know what I mean? You do see why he is the captain. Just the leadership he shows. It seems off the park. Obviously him and Morelos having a wee bit of fun the other night in the cup, which was sensational. But no, I'm just, as I say, I'm happy that we're getting the key players tied down. Hopefully Connor Goldson is next. Get that man another contract because he deserves it. Player of the season, as we keep saying, mate. But no, I'm so happy to have staying. He's committed his future.
Aye. And me, like yourself, very, very fucking happy I seen that news today. After being raging at the Kudela Kamara ongoing incident, that was really great to see today. Tavernier committing his future to Rangers, and he's going to be our captain for another few years anyway, hopefully. So good to see that. Hopefully he can then build on this title and then move on to more silverware in the future.
No, just another thing I was thinking there. it's also going to be competition time as well. I feel like I feel Patterson's really going to push him to keep that A game, because Patterson, as you say, we've seen he's been delivering top performances. You know what I mean, in Europe and the Cup. So it's going to be. I'm really excited to see the competition there. But no, I just saw that there as well, mate. Like, it's going to be competition. Also, it's not
No.
going to be just straight in there. I hope Patterson really is pushing him to get that number one jersey in that position, because as Gerard said, like, they're their teammates, but you got to be wanting to push them out the way. You've got to be obsessed, as he said in that BT interview. So no, I'm looking forward to seeing how they two are going to obviously help each other but compete at the same time for that jersey in that number one position.
Aye, and do you know what? Bringing up that competition sort of statement, that's probably the first two right backs we've actually had a great quality fighting for a position since Tavernier's been at the club. If you remember the right backs that we've had in reserve, Matt Polster, John Flanagan, none of them were ever going to push James Tavernier for his starting jersey anyway. Lee Hodgson as well, just came into my head. But now we've got two top class right backs. Tavernier, who'll need to keep the levels that he's kept for most of the season, because Patterson's knocking on that door, as you say. He's knocking on that door for a Scotland call-up as well. So, aye, definitely going to be a good battle in there next season with the two right-backs anyway. And it's an area of the pitch you're comfortable in, whoever starts for me now. If Tavernier does have a minor niggle or injury, as he has the past month or two, Patterson's been fine there, and that's exactly what Gerrard would want. Two strong players in each position. And I'm happy with Tavernier committing his future to the club. Hopefully more trophies and success to come with him as our captain. So moving on for that, then we had the Cove Rangers game. It was great to see his back in action. Obviously, we've done the reaction to that game on our YouTube channel. And the first point brought up for that, again, after watching the goals back, obviously seeing the team that started the game. It was just good to see players getting minutes that don't usually get minutes, and it brought up the discussion for me with the Jermaine Defoe situation. Jermaine Defoe was on the telly after the game. He was getting asked questions about. He says he loves it here at Ibrox. He would want to finish his career at Ibrox in front of the fans. Hopefully that leads to a new deal next year. And the question I wanted to ask you is, Defoe, obviously been a great servant so far to the club. I've seen his record. He's played 67 games. I think 32 of them are starts. He scored 30 goals and had 10 assists in a Rangers jersey since he joined. I mean, that's great numbers considering Alfredo Morelos has been ahead of him for most of his time here. And he's still picking up these sort of numbers, especially at the latter end of his career. And he's also scored at least one goal in every calendar year since the year we were born in 2000. So I got that one off TA Pundits on Twitter. Seen their tweet went up about that. But that was my question to you. Would you like to see Defoe here another year? And what do you feel he brings to this group?
Well, first off, mate, I know you were talking about the starting 11. I was a bit unhappy because one player I did request to be in the team. That was myself, young Jack.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Greg Stewart there.
Oh no, Greg came on. I didn't get my call yet. I'm still waiting on the call. But no, Defoe's been just superb, and he's been sensational. I think his attitude, as we've said before previously, is his attitude just off the park as well. As you say, with the likes of Alfredo Morelos there, number one striker. And because he could have easily have been like, I mean, it comes to the Premiership, he could easily have been, no, I should be starting at the game here. Like, why is this? But just to have the maturity to just say, do you know what? No, this guy's clearly thingy. When I get my minutes, I'm going to perform. I'm going to show the fans what I can do. And he's also a good character around. Do you know what I mean? You see that the squad seem to love Jermaine Defoe. I love Jermaine Defoe. I know you do as well, mate. And I would love him to finish his career. I'd be honoured, honestly. Like, as you say, he's probably one of the strikers in the Premiership. I know everyone talks about Aguero, Harry Kane, and I don't feel like Defoe's maybe talked enough as he should be, because you look at his goals, mate, in the Premiership, his record. He should be talked about a bit more than he is. But I personally, as a Rangers fan, I'd be honoured for something like that to finish their career up here. Just superb servant.
Aye, absolutely. I'll agree with you there. I know he does not get the recognition he deserves. He was such a great Premier League striker for so many years for a good few clubs. Obviously, he was at Portsmouth, Spurs, Sunderland, to name a few. So he's had a good career, and for the fact that we got him when we did, I feel it was such a massive coup for us at the time, getting Jermaine Defoe up here, even at his later on in his career. It's just his record is spoke for himself since he's been here. He played very limited amount of minutes this season, and he's come on and scored maybe one of the best goals of the season, Livingston, when he started. Scored away to Ross County, if I remember rightly, as well. Obviously scored the other day. So even with the amount of chances he's took them this season, and he's definitely a guy who rubs off on a lot of people. Cedric Eaton, I've seen they go back and forth. They're always talking to each other on Instagram, their comments and stuff like that. Morelos obviously has benefited for Defoe, and I just feel the full squad has benefited for a guy like Jermaine Defoe and the dressing room. And I think he's just a well-liked person around the world of football, to be honest with you. I've never seen MD say one bad word about Defoe. And definitely, for me anyway, I'd like to get him in for another year.
See, I don't know about yourself, but I always remember, as you said, when he signed, how like it was a massive signing for us. But I always remember the video of him. I can't remember where it was. I think he was just walking like in a car park, and I think it was a Celtic fan. I went up to him and said, "You signed for the wrong team in Glasgow." And he was like, "No, however," like the guy couldn't give me any answers. But no, I just remember that when he signed, man, and I remember just like the buzz that we all did have, because it was as I say, it's a big name, it's a massive name to have the likes of Jermaine Defoe to come up and play for us. Played for England. So, no, I would be 100% happy for him to finish his career in front of fans. You've got, even as a footballer, like, I couldn't imagine retiring when there's no fans in the stadium. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You wouldn't get any David Beckham greeting. Remember that when he signed for Paris? Imagine him greeting when there's nobody in the stadium. Like, you crying for? There's nobody here.
Do you know what? I've actually never thought about that before. That is really awkward. Thinking if a situation like that happened, it's going to maybe happen for fucking big Scott Brown down the road, isn't it? He's leaving Celtic at the end of the season. So is he going to be greeting into the empty chairs at fucking Celtic Park? Who knows? But Defoe, 100%.
Jack. Alfredo Burrell just launching bits of paper at him, man.
I don't know if you've seen the edit on Twitter. Somebody edited Scott Brown's face. And Neil Lennon, I've seen that one, but somebody edited Scott Brown onto him. Morelos sitting him with bits of tape. But that was a good part for the weekend. But I think we're pretty stuck on the fact Defoe, I'd like him for another year. Obviously, it's down to him in his career if he wants to go and try something else for another year, but he's the guy I would like to stay anyway for another year. And then after that, obviously, the draw that we've seen previously got us a bit hyped up for the game even more. Old Firm tie, now being confirmed to be the 17th of April at 4 o'clock, and it's a mental kick-off time. It's usually Sunday, as early as it can be, but Saturday night, there's an Old Firm game next weekend, so buzzing for that one, and we'll talk about that obviously in next week's episode. But sticking on the subject of the Cove Rangers game, and a guy who really impressed us in particular, and a lot of people are talking about him. I put up a tweet on the podcast Twitter about him, saying, does he start against Hibs? That man is Scott Wright. Seems to just be a complete breath of fresh air in and around the squad. Good pace. He's put on a lot of weight since he's came Rangers. Gerrard said that in his one of his interviews. He's putting on muscle mass and stuff like that to get him built up. Showed that against Cove Rangers. He was pushing people off the ball and stuff like that. He just, for me, looks like the perfect formula to succeed at Rangers. He looks like the perfect sort of guy that can fill that void maybe that we've been talking about for a long time with the Daniel Kudela sort of situation. We never really replaced him. So I feel like Scott Wright maybe could jump into that position and make that his own, because the signs are, for the starter, he's promising. He's got a lot of competition in that area though, with obviously Hadji, Aribo, Roof, all can play there. But he's maybe the only out-and-out right winger we have. So my question to you is he a starter for next week, or is he a starter for you in general yet?
It's in terms of being a starter. I mean, I would also play devil's advocate here and say to you, like, obviously it's Cove Rangers, do you know what I mean? Like, you would expect him to put a top shift in, Hibs game, I would give him it this weekend. I would honestly, I'd throw him in there. I'd like to see him start. The Old Firm game, I don't know. Don't know about that one. Maybe it's a sub or something. But aye, Hibs at the weekend. I would definitely just give him a shot. Do you know, as we've talked about, mate, we do feel like obviously some of the players who haven't had a clear chance so far are more likely to get them in the last couple of games, obviously, for medals and things like that. But I think he's a real talent, Gerrard, and that I've scouted out. Remember when, as I said in the previous videos, when he signed, we were a bit like, why have we got that one? But you can see that he's definitely going to be a player that's going to be a top class player.
Nah, definitely. For the start off anyway, for his Rangers career, it's looking promising. His first start was actually against Cove Rangers, so he's got that sort of off his back. He's finally started a game instead of coming off the bench and stuff. But even when he did come off the bench, I mean, he provided such a different a different threat for us going forward. I feel that obviously Kent provides you that directness and that just blistering pace where he could get by MD, but I feel that Wright is similar in a way, but just a wee bit different. And I feel like he's just a good asset to have, and I feel like it's great management for Gerrard and whoever else to get him in right now, to get him bedded in with the squad and stuff like that, and get him ready to go for next season. Because I feel like next season is going to be when we'll see the actual proper finished article with Scott Wright. This is only the start for him, and for the start of his career, it's promising. He's given Gerrard such a massive headache in that area of the pitch. And as Gerrard and as a lot of others have wanted to see, he's going to use the squad for the remaining league games anyway. I don't know about the Old Firm, as you say. I think he'll pick his strongest team to go out. But I say for Hibs, why not? A lot of people were replying to that tweet saying, no yet. I wouldn't start him. But after a good performance against Cove Rangers, getting an assist, obviously, why not give him Hibs? It's that sort of step up my Rangers shirt, and we could see what he could do.
No, on you go, man. On you go. No, I'm just like, see if people are saying, I wouldn't play him in Hibs. Let's remember he was at Aberdeen. Like it's not like he's come for the Championship or something. Like he's played Premiership football. So for me, I definitely start him in Hibs. Why not? Let's go and just take a chance. I just feel like you're saying, mate, he is. I mean, imagine being a striker and playing with him and Kent. That's got to be a joy. That has got to be an absolute joy for Morelos, Cedric, whoever's playing. Like, absolute joy to play with too. But for me, I'd start him. I don't see what's the problem here. So, as I say, it's not like he's a young player we've just grabbed for Falkirk or something. Like, we've got him for Aberdeen. Like, he's playing top level football. So I'd play him.
No, and I agree with you. I might not have him in my team prediction, but I might. I'm still unsure. But for me, talking like I would want to play the game, I would start him. But for me, talking for like an actual maybe head screwed on a bit Gerrard point of view, I don't think he'll start him. But as you say, I say why not? I say. Aye, he's played for Aberdeen. He's played for Aberdeen for years in the Scottish Premier League. It's not as if he's going to need to adapt to it. And obviously, maybe the jersey Rangers will be a massive thing to put on, which will be different for him. But I feel like he's played for Aberdeen for a long time. Should definitely be ready for things like that. He's played all season as well. It's not as if he's been like out for the full season or anything. He has played the full season with Aberdeen and then he's came here. So he's definitely ready to go. It's with Gerrard if he trusts him or not yet in a game like Hibs, because obviously it's not as if like, the league's won just foot off the gas and we'll take that whatever. We still need to go out and win all these games. But personally, from my point of view, I don't see him weakening our side in any sort of way going forward anyway, even with the options we've got across the forward line. You could even maybe say he's given Kent competition because he could play on the left or right. I think we've seen him start actually on the left against Cove Rangers. Roof played on the right. So it's maybe out of Roof and him currently for that position. Haji's obviously a big one. Aribo, I like seeing him playing further forward, but knowing the fact that he can play deeper is a good thing for the three players in the forward areas. So he impressed me a lot. I want to see more of him. I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of Rangers fans. We want to see more of what Scott Wright can do because what we saw at the weekend was very impressive.
No, it was really impressive. I was just thinking about when you're saying how further back Aribo can play. I'm like, I chuck him at left back because he was. I'll never forget that game. He was sensational left back. honestly. No, well, I don't know, man. What's your team lineup then? But we going straight into this now, or
Aye, well,
what do I do now?
that's the Scott Wright debate was going to be the main sort of thing here, but I think we're both pretty similar viewpoints. We want to see him start.
Ah,
We were impressed with him. There's a lot of competition for places, and he's given Gerrard a massive headache to deal with, which is only a good thing. You want to have a strong squad to pick
just
with. So,
another point I'll bring up then. See if we lose Kent this summer, would you have confidence in him playing the full season then?
I think that is one that will sort of play itself out with him getting more game time. I don't think I can make that judgment right now because Kent obviously has been a massive. He's made that left wing position his own for the past sort of 3 years he's been here. So I think Wright is going in the right direction currently to be able to be at the level he can. But I think it might take a bit of time for him to get up to the level to replace Ken. But I feel like I'd rather have the both of them, but if one goes and that is Ken, I mean, I feel in due time, I think he'll get up to the level anyway, what's provided. Because, I mean, the start has looked very promising for him anyway.
Aye. No, I just wanted to ask me. I just thought I'd throw a wee bone in there.
No, not a good question, honestly. Aye, that is quite a good question. I hope we don't lose Kent this summer now that you've said that, but it's
No,
down
I
to you
don't
if
know. No, I don't. No, hey, no. I don't want to lose Ken, to be honest.
it's down to you if he goes. So, aye, the Scott Wright section, then that's that one. Obviously, impressed us all. So we'll move on to the Hibs game now. This being obviously a big game. They progressed in the cup with a 3-1 win against Queen of the South last night. So big for them. They want to secure the third spot because I think Aberdeen are still a few points behind them. Hibs slip up, that means Aberdeen will creep in. But Hibs will be looking to finish their season as strong as possible. Nisbet, another one, he'll obviously want to get goals and more goals to be able to secure a place on the point of the Euros. So I think Hibs, obviously it's always a tough game for us, regardless of when we play them in the season, because they'll want to stop our unbeaten run as well. Like, it's not going to be a fact like they're just going to lie down and let us win this game. They're going to really fight to be able to be the team that stops that for us this season. So it's always like a wee mini derby. Hibs always try and ignite some sort of mini old firm with us when we play them. But I'm looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to get back to league action again because I think it was a bit hectic after we won the league and stuff like that. And then we went straight into Europe and the whole stuff has happened. And then we played the Old Firm game and we went on the international break. So it's good to get back to league football again. And as I said, I heard, Gary McAllister saying his press conference at the weekend before the Cove Rangers game. It's like a mini season for these players now. They've won the league. They can't just ride off that alone. They need to go and finish the season as strong as possible in like sort of these 5 or 6 games or however many it'll end up being with the Scottish Cup match. So I feel that it's always going to be a hard game against Hibs. How do you feel going into it?
It was the same. It's always a difficult game. That said, I hope Greggy Stewart starts and I hope Greggy Stewart gets 3. That would make my no. Pretty confident, as I say, mate. We're the champions, so we should be confident going into this game. As you say, they're looking to get that third spot. And I think if they not, I don't want to say they've spent a lot of money. Like they've not got that much, obviously, compared to the main 2 in Glasgow. But they have brought a lot of players in, haven't they? I've seen that they brought quite a few in January. Was it? They not get that boy for Hull, that Australian boy? What's his name?
Aye, they get Jackson Irvine in, who's played a lot for them in the midfield. They've loaned Scott Allen out to Inverness. They've also loaned out Stephen McGinn. He went somewhere else in Scotland as well. I can't remember where he went. They signed Chris Cadden. He played against us actually when we beat them 1-0 at their place. Chris Cadden's a decent enough player. Obviously they've got Nisbet. Dodge scored 2 the other night for them. Martin Boyle, who's always a problem when we face him. He's got blistering pace wherever they play him. Porteous is obviously big for them. Marciano. So Hibs do have a pretty decent side. They are probably the 3rd best squad in the league, I would say. few good players in there, I would say, and they've caused us problems this season at their own place. First game of the season, 2 each, obviously. And then we played them at Ibrox. It was 1-0 on Boxing Day. And then we played them again at Easter Road and it was 1-0. So I think we'll be looking for more goals and a more convincing win in this one instead of 1-0s. But I'm looking forward to it. As you say, you should be confident going into any game nowadays. As you're champions, you have got a point to prove. And the thing on the line now for the league season is going through all these games unbeaten. So I think I'll do the team prediction now just to get it out of the way.
You do yours, mate. You go for it.
Right, so McGregor, I don't know. Again, it's been like this for about a month. Is Patterson allowed to play or not? I don't know if the bans will end up getting, because Rangers appealed it so he could play the weekend. But I don't know if it'll be concluded by the time this game comes around. But I've got him in there anyway. I've got Goldson, I've got Balogun coming back in. I've got Barisic, Davis, Aribo in the midfield. I've got Kamara. I've got Scott Wright, I've got Morelos, and I've got Ryan Kent. As we said, Scott Wright could easily be somebody else, but I'd like to see him in there. And what's your team going into this one?
Yeah, well, obviously McGregor in the sticks. Patterson, or maybe myself if Rangers need somebody to play. No, definitely if Patterson's available, then 100% start. Goldson, I'm not dropping big London, mate. Every time he plays, I'm so impressed with him, the fact that he played obviously the internationals, then he's played that cup game there. So I'm pretty impressed with him. Big Swedish star, isn't he? So no longer Bambi on ice champions. I'll give him the title with honour or whatever. Barisic alright.
Barisic is good.
Is he alright if he's in? Aye, right, well, Barisic can go in there. Obviously Davis, Kamara, Aribo. I think that's sort of the midfield there. I'm a bit concerned with Ryan Jack, as we were talking about and all. Like, I'm really concerned with him, obviously with injuries, but I hope he can come back sooner. I'm going to stick Scott in there. I'm going to stick Scott right in there. I would love Cedric to play, get a chance, but I don't think he will. Alfredo, obviously, he's chopping it a bit. You need to release him. So get him out there. I'd love him, see when we get that WWE title that Drew McIntyre and that I've got, I would love like a Batista entrance or something with Alfredo coming out, just with a big pyro. Just, and obviously Ryan Kent, I'll go with David's up front. But I've been thinking about that. I don't know about yourself, but I just cannot wait to see Morelos with the WWE title. Just over him.
Do you know the one thing I want, right? See, come the 15th of May when we've got that trophy, I want Morelos to have that title around his shoulder. I want him to have a Colombian flag tied around his neck, and I want him to hold the league title in the other hand. That would make for easily the best photo probably we'll ever see. So and
if somebody could paint that for us, I'll have that on my wall. That Dexter poster will go down, and that'll be my poster up there.
It has to be. That has to be framed everywhere.
Just the celebrations are done, everybody's going home and all that, and the lights are going out in Ibrox, and then we get Alfredo doing like WWE instances. That'd be hilarious, man. I'd love just he's a TV series with Alfredo just following them. Honestly, I think it would be, as we said, it's more entertaining in that second half. I would just love to just, honestly.
He's get the absolute batter.
Definitely.
But hopefully we see that in Trophy Day. I mean, it's quite far-fetched, but we can dream at least. Going into the score prediction then for this game, I mean, we're pretty similar on our team predictions, maybe a few different ones, but the score prediction, sorry, I've went with 3-0 Rangers. I'm pretty confident in doing score predictions now that the league's won for the league anyway. I'm going to go with 3-0. I think my scorers will be Morelos. I think Roof will come on and score, and I could see Goldson getting one and for a corner. So that's what I've went for. What are you going for?
Just a Rangers win, mate. That'll do me. I'm not doing it, mate. Honestly, watch this. You've said that. Now we're going to get the result we're looking for, but I'm just going for a Rangers win, man.
Fair enough. I mean, I'm never going to get out of you, so I tried at least. I tried.
Hopefully Alfredo scores. There you go. I'll have Alfredo to score. I'd love it if he got a hat trick, but just Rangers to win.
Right, fair enough. I'll give you. And that's the episode then. Pretty much covered sort of everything we wanted to cover today. Is there anything else you would like to touch on before we wrap up?
Nah, no, really, mate. I'm just going to go and watch these Champions League games.
Aye, that's what I'm going to get this uploaded, get it on YouTube and stuff like that, and get ready for the Liverpool Real Madrid game, because that's going to be tasty. That is going to be tasty. So, if you enjoyed the podcast, share it about. If you're listening on Spotify, follow our socials. It's Twitter at the Every Other Sat 1 and Instagram's at Every Other Sat Pod. You can stay up to date with what we're doing over there. And if you're watching on YouTube, if you could like the video, subscribe to our channel. That'd be very much appreciated. And we'll be back now on Sunday for the reaction to the Hibs game. So until then, see you later on.